I bought a thing. Hi friends, I hope you're having an inspiring day. We are doing a little unboxing today because there is a new addition to the family. We are in my bedroom because I felt like this was fitting for this unboxing slash review. I haven't actually done this section of Hermès's collections in my unboxings and reviews, so I'm looking forward to it because obviously, as you can tell, I have a little collection growing in this part of the Hermès space. As always with all of my designer style reviews and unboxings, I like to kind of do a little disclaimer that, you know, luxury is, first of all, a very personal thing. It is in no means something that you have to have. It's something that means something special to you, and that's what's important. And I think that that's what luxury should mean. It should symbolize something to you, whether it's art or an accomplishment celebration, whatever it is to you, but it by no means means you need this item. It's obviously a huge splurge and something that's oftentimes very unnecessary, but nevertheless, here we are. Hermès, if you're unfamiliar, is one of my favorite houses when it comes to luxury brands. I love their history and their heritage. I love sort of the quality of the products and what they stand for. I love that craftsmanship is still at the center of their core and of their production. So we are going to talk about the home collection today, and there's a few collections I think are very popular at Hermès and I think are also very timeless. We have the iconic Hermès orange bag here, which comes with all of their products. And before I get somebody at me, because I feel like this is also something I have to say in all my videos, Hermès is a French brand. Voilà, c'est Hermès, pas Hermes or Hermes or Hermes or Hermes, I don't know. There's lots of different ways that people pronounce it. There is no wrong way, but the brand is a French brand and is pronounced Hermès. Donc voilà, on va utiliser le mot Hermès dans cette vidéo. So this beautiful item comes in its own very structured box, very similar to their bags. I think that kind of speaks to the quality of all of their items, not just their bags and accessories. Inside, we've got our receipt here, and these are always very important to keep if you're new to luxury purchases in general. Typically, I do purchase them with the idea that they hold their value in mind, and in my mind, it is a little bit of an investment, and so I do tend to keep all of my receipts typically in their box, so they're all in one, so that if I ever do decide to resell it or something like that, or I have no use for it anymore, the new person, the new owner, will have a full set, is what it's called in, I think, the resale market. Not that I've ever sold any of my Hermès pieces, but I feel like if I needed to, if the times were hard and your girl, you know, had to part ways, I could. And like their bags, it comes with this beautiful wrapping, beautiful Hermès ribbon. Now, something really interesting about the ribbon, sometimes they actually have their year stamp on them. This one does not, but sometimes in between sort of the logo and the name Hermès Paris, you'll actually have a year on them, and I love those ribbons because I feel like it kind of represents, you know, the time in your life when you purchase this item, without getting super cheesy and into it. And inside the box here, now the boxes are not collapsible. I have towers of Hermès orange boxes kind of all around my house because they don't break down and they're really hard to stack and store, but that is luxury, isn't it? Inside of the box, you've got your beautiful tissue paper, and new to the family is my new Avalon blanket. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Avalon blankets, you will probably have seen them around. They match the Avalon pillows that you see behind me and are definitely a big staple in the Hermès home collection. Recently, because of the past 2 years of being at home a lot, this collection in particular has been really hard to find. The production doesn't necessarily always match the demand, as is the case with a lot of Hermès products, but I have been looking for the full-size Avalon blanket for a while now. Now it comes in a couple of different colors. It comes in this dark gray. It comes in this camel sort of brown color that you see here. It also comes in their iconic orange. You'll also find that there is two families of the Avalon family. There are the Avalon 1s, or the classic Avalons, and then there's the Avalon 3s, which have a few extra lines kind of running through the block pattern. I am an Avalon 1 collector, so I was really excited when they had this dark gray in store. I do feel like this is not a trendy piece. It is definitely a timeless one, in this, especially in this dark gray sort of black color. It may not be, you know, this light camel color that goes with a more bohemian feel, which is what my home kind of feels like right now, but I think as I age into the style and the home decor style of my homes of later years, I do think that this color is going to be a little bit more timeless. Let's talk a little bit about the history of the Avalon blanket. So like most things at Hermès, it does have a little bit of a history as to why it is so iconic. So the Avalon blanket was first introduced in the 1980s. It actually debuted not too long ago. It debuted in 1988, but fascinatingly, there was actually a book in particular that's credited to have made it the famous home staple that it is today. So there was an author, her name was Lisa Burnbank, and she wrote a book in 1980, which I believe is called like the Official Preppy Guide or something like that, and she quoted and named Hermès's home pieces to kind of be the savoir-faire of like the who's who tasteful home markings. Description, she basically credited having an Hermès piece in your home to be something that made you somebody. Now, that aside, I mean, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I personally just love the construction and the quality of the piece, but I just find it interesting to know the history of how something came to be so iconic. Ever since, you've obviously seen them in homes of celebrities. These pillows and blankets are kind of thrown around as if they're nothing, and they are indeed a very high price point. And the design of the Avalon blankets were actually simulated and inspired by the horse blankets, the blankets that they would use for the horses in their stables to keep the horses warm, to protect the horses underneath their saddles, things like that. And it definitely has that heritage kind of embedded within it. The original blanket that was ever created was actually 90% merino wool, and it was made in Scotland. Nowadays, you'll actually see on the label here the blankets made in later years, including this one. They're actually made now in Great Britain. They are 90% merino wool and 10% cashmere. And so you actually have this incredibly soft yet warm feel to these blankets. The question obviously remains whether or not you decide to use it as a blanket or not, or whether you decide to use it just as a decor piece. I'll show you how I plan on styling it on my bed, sort of in this home area towards the end of this video. In terms of a review, I obviously love the Avalon collection as a whole, so I kind of knew a couple of things that I really liked about it. This blanket is beautifully created. It is woven in a way that really keeps its shape. No matter how you kind of use it, it always snaps back, and that's really due to this beautiful stitching and hem around the corners of the blanket. Now the blanket kind of has two sides to it. You've got this darker sort of classic front side, but a lot of people also style it on the back, which has the opposite look to the front. Now, as you can see, it's dark on the front here, and then the colors are reversed on the back side. All right, let's talk about pricing next, because it is important, of course. Now, I purchased this in Toronto, and here in Toronto, the price of the Avalon blanket, 90% wool, and I say that because they do also have full cashmere versions. It was $1,700, which after taxes came out to $1,921. So yes, my friends, this is the most expensive blanket I think I will probably ever purchase in my entire life. It does ironically cost more than my bed, but it is, to me, an iconic staple to have in your home. It does need to be dry cleaned only, so hopefully we'll be able to do that quite a bit and be able to make sure it lasts the test of time. But I think that a classic like this that you can see every day in your home is at times and arguably even more valuable than, let's say, a designer bag, because you literally see it, you use it every day. A lot of people do use it, some people don't. I intend on maybe using it like for a date night or something special like that when we're cozying up on the couch, but other than that, it will definitely be a sort of decorative item. Okay, so we have a queen size bed, and as you can see, it basically just scratches the edge of the bed. If I were to lay it out fully, it basically covers, I'd say, 60% of the bed. This is not how I would probably use the blanket, but just to give you guys a size comparison and a full view of the front of the blanket. So this is not typically how people will style it. They'll normally style it kind of folded up like this. This is the opposite side, the beige or creamier side of the blanket, the back side. They'll kind of fold it up like this, and then they'll lay it at kind of the foot of the bed. And so it kind of gives you a sort of, I don't know, a little addition to, I don't know, the side of the bed. I mean, I don't really plan on using it like this. If you were to kind of fold it up, you can kind of lay it out on the edge, kind of like this. Some people do it like that. I have seen people use it at the base of the bed. It probably would look better with the darker side at the base of my bed. You can also kind of fold it in half like this and drape it kind of at the foot of the bed. I'll finish it to kind of show you guys what I mean here. You can kind of fold it like that and then have it at the edge so that it gives you like not the full blanket look, but just kind of like a little footer of the bed. So we don't have our blanket ladder out right now, but sometimes we do have a blanket ladder kind of on this back wall here, and a lot of people would kind of hang the blanket kind of like in the corner here as like a decorative piece on a blanket ladder. Some people would kind of just leave it on the edge of your bed here with your pillows or something like that. There are a bunch of different ways how to style it. I feel like a lot of people do tend to use it kind of just for photos. It does look kind of nice like that when it's a little bit disheveled as well. But honestly, it's a blanket. So, I mean, the way that you would normally use a blanket, I think, is the way that it should be styled. So for me, on the bed, a lot of people also like to drape it on a chair. So this is not my first foray into the Avalon blanket. I actually first picked up the baby blanket in this kind of creamy taupey color, but it is a very small blanket because it's meant to be for a baby, and so it wasn't actually functional. I think if you like this color, it is specifically only available in the baby collection. It's also quite difficult to find. It took me a little while to find this one, but a lot of people will kind of use the Avalon blankets as a chair drape. So you can kind of drape it on the chair, kind of like this, in a nicer way, I guess. You could probably style it in a way that looks best for your home. The dark on dark probably isn't the best combination, but I just wanted to show you that, you know, it is a chair decoration as well. And that is it for my Avalon blanket unboxing and review. I hope you liked this. I have not ventured into the home decor sharing space in my content typically, but I do feel like it's something that I'm super passionate about. It kind of falls within the same space. I try to look at my home investments kind of the same as I look at my luxury wearable collection, in that I want it to be intentional. I want it to be something that lasts the test of time. And if I'm investing a lot of money in something like this blanket, similarly to my bags, I really want to understand the value behind it. And so hopefully this helps you if you are thinking about getting an Avalon blanket or an Avalon pillow in your home as well. Let me know if you'd like a Hermès home collection video. I have collected a few pieces across the years. Nothing huge, but little pieces, so no furniture or anything like that, although they do make those. So let me know if you're interested in that. But other than that, thank you so much, friends, for being here as always. If you're new to the Inspired family, we would love it if you join us and subscribe. And with that, I hope you have an inspiring and cozy rest of your day. Remember that kindness doesn't cost a thing, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!